The heart of your stakeholder database is the individual registry. This is where you'll find all of your players, regardless of type and level of involvement. Anyone that your organization communicates with, whether they're a CEO or a local landowner, will be added here. The main components of the individual registry are the stakeholder registry, which is the list of all stakeholders in the system, and stakeholder records, which contain important information about your stakeholders, like contact information, position in an organization, connections, issues, commitments, grievances, and communications. To open the individual register, click on the Stakeholder Engagement module in the blue navigation ribbon, then click on Individuals in the Stakeholder section. To search for an existing stakeholder, you can use quick filters. For example, filters can help you find stakeholders that have been assigned to you or stakeholders that you created in the system. For more filtering options, turn on the Detailed view. New columns will appear, and you'll be able to filter individuals by categorization, location, languages, and more. When you look at a stakeholder's record, let's take Doreen Smith for example, you'll notice that the most important information that has been entered is displayed in the first screen. The more information you add to the record, the more useful and complete this section will be. You'll see the stakeholder's main position and contact information at the top. You'll also find additional information, including the stakeholder's location, preferred language, and relationship manager in this section. On the right, you'll see the latest communications with this stakeholder, as well as who else was involved in those communications. The tabs on the left will let you dig deeper into the stakeholder record and add information as you get to know the person. Let's quickly check to see if Doreen has other positions linked to her profile. We can easily see that in addition to being a receptionist at a local government, she is also a board member of a local community organization. You can see who Doreen is connected to and what contact information you can use to reach her. If you'd like to add another communication method, click the green plus button. Under Engagements, you can see at a glance how many communications your organization has had with Doreen and access them as needed. You can also review any issues or grievances Doreen might have raised and any commitments made to her. And finally, you can consult any documents and tasks linked to her stakeholder record. Now let's create a record. Before we begin, please note that the fields in the individual creation form may vary depending on what was defined for your organization when Borealis was configured. That means some fields you see on the screen may not exist for you. Form configuration is usually handled by your super user. Let's say I meet with a mayor named John Ackerman by phone and want to capture him as a stakeholder in Borealis. There are a few ways to do this. You can create a record using the Create button, as we mentioned before. You can also use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl-Alt-I to pull up the individual creation form. A third option is to use the Create button in the Individuals section. That's what we'll do here. We can enter a specific address or simply choose a general location, like Toronto. This function uses data from Google, so accuracy may vary by country. If your city doesn't appear correctly, go ahead and create the specific address. In the title field, we'll choose Mr. As you can see, selecting this option automatically populates the gender as male. Categorizations are defined by super users, and they're specific to your organization. Here we'll simply choose Local Government for Mayor John. We won't enter a date of death, since John is still very much alive, but let's enter his phone number, 417-555-9999. Next, we'll link John to the City Council that elected him. Here you could also create the organization directly by clicking the green plus button. In this case, the Los Angeles City Council already exists in the system, so we can simply select it from the drop-down menu. As you can see, some new fields appear. These are only available when the stakeholder is linked to an organization. Entering the position, mayor in this case, is particularly important to be sure you communicate with the person at the right level. The relationship manager is the person in your organization who is responsible for the stakeholder. Since I already spoke to John, I'm going to click the Select Me button. For now, that's pretty much it. Since I would like to make sure I recognize John if I bump into him at an event, I'll also add his photo. The level of detail you need to include in a stakeholder profile depends on the configuration and processes established by your organization, so please reach out to your super user for more information. Click Save to view the record you created for John. Great job! Now you know how to create an individual in Borealis and navigate through the individual register. Practice makes perfect, so go ahead and try out these exercises. Think of a stakeholder you need to add and create an individual record in Borealis. View your record in the register by using the Created by Me quick filter. Modify the record to add a second communication method. Don't forget that if you have any questions, you can visit our Help Center, where you will find other introductory videos like this one, or write to the Help Desk if you find any issues.